My dear friends, as we are now in the first week of our spiritual journey in the season of Lent, where we are reminded of the Lenten observances that would make us better in our relationships, first with God, with others, and with the self. For these are the important relationships that we have, because the Lenten season would impart to us not just hardships, but the Lenten season imparts to us of how to improve further these relationships that we have. And that is the reason why we have prayer, or the practice of prayer, or intensifying our time and spending more time in prayer, because this would develop, nourish our relationship with God. Because in prayer, we are not just presenting to God all our long list of intentions, nga kundili tumanon sa Ginoo, dayon tag-ingon sa Ginoo, i-unfriend na tika Lord. But this is all the more listening to Him and conforming to the will of God, so that we may follow and thread the path that would lead to Him, and as well as to self-fulfillment. And so also, the Lenten season is imparting to us this self-restraint, self-denial, and self-discipline in the forms of fasting, abstinence, or something that we can offer as a sacrifice, or a letting go sacrifice in the season of Lent, in order to nourish the relationship with the self. For we all know we always have our struggles. We can say that we have a good part of us, and we have also the not so good part of us, and all these things are in struggle of finding ourselves, telling ourselves as well that we should control ourselves over temptations, over sensual activities that would lead us away from the Lord. And our self-denial would instill self-discipline, so that from within we become strong. We have the real strength from within to say no, and to acknowledge that no sin is indeed necessary. And thirdly, in which our readings of today give focus, where the book of Leviticus is telling us of how to conduct ourselves in relationship with others, of the long list of not doing these things when we want to become good neighbors. And so also in our gospel, the Lord is telling us of how to grow in charity, of how to grow in sensitivity to the needs of others as part of our Lenten observances, as part of how to nourish our relationship with others. And it would always be an act of charity. It would always be a sensitive heart that is more than willing to give and to offer a lending hand as a sign of our act of charity, based on the charity of Jesus upon us. And this completes our Lenten observances. And if we try to see, this is actually doing justice to God through our prayers, doing justice to the self in our self-restraint, in our fasting and abstinence, and doing justice to others in our almsgiving or acts of charity. And in these 40 days, in the spiritual journey of the Lenten season, may we embark into this spiritual journey, so that after all this spiritual exercises, we can truly celebrate Easter season of having to inculcate in us once again the spiritual discipline and nourishing our relationships with God, the self, and others. Where our readings of today reminds us of the important acts of charity to grow in the sensitivity of the needs of others as part of our Lenten journey. Amen.